Hello Sagittarius, welcome to your weekly tarot reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is for the week of December 11th through December 17th. Please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. And I thank you so much for checking out my channel and for checking out your reading this week. Okay, now let's just get into it. What is the message coming through? What is the major energy? What is going on in your life? What is it that you need to know about? Well, we've got a Two of Wands here. This is some really great fire energy. I feel like we've been getting a lot of good fire energy for you recently, but let's put that into some context and see if we can get a little bit more of a read on what's going on. There's a lot of air, but a lot of fire this week. Oh, mystery card. Don't want to forget that. We're going to put this right over here. We're not going to look at that until the very end. That's kind of our bonus card, right? A confirmation card. And we're going to see if that might tie this reading together or give us the confirmation that we're looking for at the very end of the reading. So please stick around. So like I said, there is a lot of air and a lot of fire. Now there's a little bit of water, not really a lot of earth. So what I'm thinking right off the bat is that there's going to be just a little bit of an issue kind of grounding this energy this week, right? Bringing all of this fire, all of this air, right? Those are very active elements. Bringing all of these ideas, all of this energy down to the earth plane to manifest these things, but then also to kind of keep yourself grounded, right? To keep the solid earth beneath your feet and not get, let's say too carried away by some of these ideas or by some of this energy. Okay, so we started out with this Two of Wands, and this is some really good fiery energy, but this could be indicating that there's a little bit of either two things that are in conflict, right? So this could really be like two really strong passions that you have, two enthusiasms, two wills, right? I'm getting this feeling like there are, two, possibly more, different paths that you're considering, right? Or two different focuses, foci, I don't know the right word, two different areas of interest that you want to focus on, right? And there might be this kind of struggle to choose which one is really right for you. I feel like you kind of have to narrow things down to just one of these things, right? So it could be a decision about really what you're feeling, what you're desiring, what your will is, what your real passion is for. And so there's a little bit of a conflict between, these two things that you really, I think you have very strong feelings for both of these, but you're just not sure which one is right for you or which one to take or which one is going to be the most successful perhaps or the most fulfilling, okay? And we really see more fire, and this is the Five of Wands. This is crossing the path of that Two of Wands this week. So there is these two conflicting ideas that you have, and I really feel like it's a struggle for you to choose. And I don't know if it's a situation where you have to choose, or maybe you just feel like you have to choose. But it really is kind of about narrowing things down, and there's a real struggle to do that this week. Okay, I see that's going to really be kind of the major focus of your week. The major conflict really that's going on is just trying to decide between these two things. And I think these are, not like choosing between two different people or choosing between two different job opportunities or whatever. I think this is more choosing between two ideas, choosing between two real intense passions or two plans for your life, right? You kind of have it's a little bit of a crossroads, but I don't think so much in the physical manifested reality, not in the external events, I don't think. I think this is more of determining kind of who you are and what path you should be on in your life. Does that make sense? It's a more energetic, more spiritual kind of, dichotomy than just seeing the physical crossroads in front of you and having to choose which direction to take your life. I think it's more fundamental than that. I think this is a struggle to determine who you are, to really find your purpose, to really find the right path for you. And I think there are, like I said, two, possibly more, really intense desires and really intense spiritual wills in you that kind of want to take you in two different directions. And the real fight this week is to kind of pick one, right? To kind of, examine yourself and find out which one of these paths is right for you. So that's kind of the general situation that I see happening this week, right? And I think this is very much related to the kind of New Year reading that we did for you a few days ago, which was, if I remember correctly, really about like these new opportunities and really like an unfoldment of your energy and your passion in the new year. So I think that as we get closer to the new year, this kind of decision or this process of really kind of narrowing it down and being really discerning about what your life path is going to be, what is your intense focus going to be, because you're Sagittarius, you're that fiery energy, you're the arrow, right? And the arrow can only go in one direction, but it goes there with so much velocity and accuracy that it is no doubt going to accomplish what it sets out to do. But I think having these energies pulling you in different directions, well, that's kind of a problem, I think, right? We see in the recent past an eight of swords. Now, this isn't my favorite card. This is kind of saying that you've been kind of locked in this battle for a while. I feel like, there's just, the more you try to think about this and reason it out, using your mind, your intellect, using the swords, which we do see a lot of swords here, the more you try to think about this, just the more kind of confused you get. The more it just seems like you're being buried in all of this complexity. And now it's just like this tangled web, this knot of thinkings that you're trying to unravel, you're trying to dig your way out of and free yourself from. So I really feel like the active thinking, the analytical process is not helping you much. And I think you know that. I think this is where you've kind of been. Maybe this is why you're in a tarot reading with me today, is because you've tried to think this through. You've tried to be analytical about it. And it just seems to be getting more confused, more complex. Now you feel like you're kind of in a bit of a prison, a bit of a tangled web that you are having some difficulty extricating yourself from. But the good news is, and we're going to go straight to the good news. I like the good news. Good news is this Knight of Cups. This is that fiery aspect, so kind of the Sagittarian aspect in some ways. The fiery aspect of the Suit of Cups, right? So the emotions, the intuition, the connection, the really deep kind of spiritual love and joy, right? So this is in the immediate future, and I think that this is really you taking that fiery energy and running with it in one direction, the direction that is resonating with your heart more than with your head, right? Because I think you've been trying to figure this out mentally, intellectually, and it's just, you can't, I mean, and I feel you, I'm the same way. When I try to choose between, let's say, two hobbies or passions or two areas of study for the month or for the season, I can't decide which one I want to do. You know what I mean? Do I want to study Eastern philosophy, Western philosophy? And it's like, those are just, there's some overlap, sure, there are some similarities. I think in the end we can reconcile them, but for all intents and purposes now, they're two very different paths, right? So it's hard. One day I'll reason, okay, well, I should do the Western stuff. That's going to be more appropriate right now in my life. But then the next day, the more I think about it, and then I'm on to the next choice. Using the intellect to decide these things is just kind of going to just be a circle, right? It's just going to keep coming back on itself and kind of changing things around constantly. Because that's the nature of the mind and of the intellect. But with this Knight of Cups, I think you're going to be pursuing the path that gives you the most heart, the most feeling, the most resonance with your soul, with your spirit, with your heart, with your emotions, the one that you feel most connected to. And so rather than it being a struggle here, we see the 5, so I think you have been struggling, especially with the kind of intellectual reasoning, analytical portion of this. Rather than that, this is more of a just kind of sitting quietly and breathing and listening to your heart, like right? Trying to hear what's going on within you and what you're really drawn to, what your heart really wants to go after. Okay. And now, I should put in there that this could be literally choosing between two different people, two different job opportunities, two different life paths, two different areas of study, something like that, right? I mean, it could be that manifest. It could be that, that physical, that external of a choice, right? But I think the process that's going on, what the focus is with this fiery energy, is the internal part of that. Okay, so I wanted to just kind of correct something I said at the beginning where this is, I may have hinted that this is not a physical reality or an external event. No, it could be, but the reading seems to be talking more about the internal portion of that decision making, of that that choice. Anyway, so with the Knight of Cups here, I feel like this is you finding the path with the most heart. Right? Finding what you are most called to, most drawn to. And that's a matter of really not using these active qualities, right? The active elements of the fire and the air. Using the more passive qualities of water and earth, even though we don't see any earth here. Maybe the mystery card, the confirmation card, maybe that'll be some earth. But using this water energy to be more passive, to listen, right? To be in tune with yourself and the messages that your soul, let's say your spirit or yourself, your higher self, whatever, is trying to communicate to you to give you the direction that you need. Okay. What we see, we'll go down here to the kind of the subconscious area, what's beneath the surface. 7 of Swords here. Okay, so more air, more intellectual, mental, more analytical stuff. I think this is really just reflecting on the whole mental portion of it, saying that, yes, there is sometimes the mind will make a decision, and that's the central sword here, right? Deciding, okay, yeah, I'm going to do choice A, right? Life path A is what I want, let's say. But then there are several thoughts that immediately swoop in and start trying to poke holes or confuse you or distract you or pull you away or second guess that choice, right? Trying to convince you otherwise. It's just that small voice that says, oh, wait, no, maybe that's not the right choice. Maybe for these certain reasons, we should go in a different direction, right? So this is kind of the mind arguing with itself or trying to convince itself, talk itself out of whatever decisions we make, right? And especially in a situation where it has this kind of fiery intensity, this life path, this passion, this really spiritual kind of, choice that we have before us, right? I think it's difficult for the mind to just accept one particular choice at the exclusion of any others. Now, of course, this, is kind of bringing up the question of, well, why do we have to choose just one thing? Why can't we have a dozen different things? And I don't know the answer to that, to be honest with you. I see that the reading here, the information, the energy that I'm seeing is that for whatever reason, and I think it's going to be different for a lot of you out there, especially, if this is resonating with you, I think you have your own reasons why it needs to be narrowed down to one, right? And maybe not one, maybe it could be several. I don't know. But what I'm seeing with this Two of Wands is that there's a conflict, okay? And the easiest type of conflict for me to describe with this energy, right? The easiest picture that I can kind of paint is that there are just two opposing intentions or wills or passions or interests, or these two roads that you have to choose between. It could be many more. It could be that you have to choose 2 out of 4, or, I don't know. But that's the easiest kind of way to look at it. And I think that the 7 of Swords here is really doing a great job telling us what is kind of the underlying mental pattern here. That there maybe will be a decision made, but the mind will kind of turn against itself and try to talk itself out of it. Okay. And that's just what's going on beneath the surface. So something to kind of be aware of. But with the 8 of Swords here in the recent past, I think you're very much aware of that already. I'm sure you've been probably thinking about the same, or feeling the same things, a lot of the same things that we're talking about here today. What you're really focused on is this Jupiter energy, this Wheel of Fortune, this expansiveness, this love and generosity, this optimism, this faith, hope, trust, right? I think that you're very much conscious of this sense of destiny or purpose, or like your higher will, your higher goals. Okay, like what are you really meant to be doing? What is it? What path will you choose, or could you choose, that will put you right in harmony, in resonance with your destiny, with your fate, with the luck of the universe, right? With the support and the inertia of the universe, right? What's going to put you in harmony with that universal energy? Okay, I think that's the kind of lofty aspiration that you have. Okay, and it could very well be manifest as, okay, well, which one of these choices, A or B, what's going to give me the most success, the most happiness, the most joy, the most of that jovial, right, Jupiter kind of quality? What's going to give me the best chance for that? But I think there are higher implications there, right? It's important for us, I think, my opinion, to make the choices that are going to lead to the greatest success, the greatest happiness for ourselves and for everyone else involved in our life, right? The greater good. Okay. But there is also another component to that, which is doing something that is more soul satisfying, right? Because we could pick something that's going to be, financially or physically prosperous, rewarding, right? But it may be lacking that kind of spiritual component, that sense of purpose or destiny, or being in harmony with the universal energy, the universal consciousness, whatever you want to call it, right? It kind of goes back to the old saying that, your will can become God's will. Okay, I don't want to get too religious or too mystical or anything here, but I think there is a certain resonance that's implied there, and I think that's involved here in the Jupiter energy in this Wheel of Fortune card. I think you're seeking that. You're searching for something along those lines, I feel. But we're going to take our attention over to the path of the Serpent now and see if we can maybe dive in a little bit further into what these choices are, or what is your kind of motivation behind them. Well, I see first your general energy is this Sun card. So this really is talking about the full and complete expression of you and who you are and what you're all about, what your energies are, what your purpose is. I think you have a very varied skill set. I think you have a lot of talents. I think you're someone who really can excel at anything that they put their mind to. Okay, I feel like you're generally a very optimistic, very outgoing, very adventurous person. It seems to me that you really enjoy doing new things, and you find you're pretty good at everything, right? And I think that's making it difficult now, because you're kind of like the sun. The sun doesn't discriminate. The sun, it just radiates warmth and light and love in every direction. It does not care about what anything else is doing. It's just radiating that light, right? In every corner, there's no, the light just shines everywhere, okay? And I think that's kind of you. I don't think that you're really too picky when it comes to how you express yourself, right? I think you're the type of person who's just kind of up for any adventure, because you're going to make everything fun. You're going to make everything worthwhile and valuable. You're going to make everything a great experience, So I think that's why maybe we see so much difficulty now in trying to kind of narrow things down. Like this could literally be deciding which area of study in university or something, or which kind of career field to go into. Could be something like that, right? But, it's an important decision. It's something that's going to affect the rest of your life. It's something that could lead to really great success, financial success and stability, and a successful life, right? But I think you're worried that it's not going to have that emotional component, the deep connection, or that sense of spiritual purpose, or the sense of destiny about it, right? You want that magic in there. And I think that's, your general energy is this sun nature, where it's just you're very eager to do everything. You're very enthusiastic. You have a lot of light, a lot of warmth, and you're a radiant soul, And I think that this is not a problem, okay? But I think that this might be like I said, why there is some certain difficulty here narrowing things down. What we see next is, well, more of this air energy. This is the Ten of Swords. I think this is really talking about the breakdown of this intellectual analytical process. Okay, I think that you have maybe reached out to your friends and your family, your loved ones, maybe your romantic partner or whatever, to try to communicate your dilemma, let's say, and get some feedback and really try to work this thing out by communicating and by thinking and by all of this kind of reasonable energy. I think it's not gotten you anywhere. I think that it's this kind of analysis is really just breaking down. And it could be breaking down to the point where you just feel exhausted and tired and like mentally kind of checked out now, right? With the Ten of Swords, there's sometimes is this feeling of like just things have just kind of broken and crumbled kind of and just like tossed around, and it's not really, it's just kind of checked out. You're not really feeling it anymore, right? Because I think that you reached a certain point with the mentation, with the reasoning, with the thinking about it, that it's just kind of like it's on your mind's kind of going on vacation now. You know what I mean? And so we kind of see that with the Ten of Swords. It's almost like an abandoned building that's now just being overgrown with vegetation and stuff, which is a beautiful thing, but there's no business going on in there, right? So it's kind of the feeling that I'm getting is that you're just kind of checked out of the whole process a little bit in terms of your relationships with other people, because that's the position of this card. So this is talking about how you're interacting with other people, and I think that maybe there are people in your life that are trying to encourage you to make a decision, or that are trying to talk to you about it and to help you work it out, and you're just like, I can't just stop, I'm done. You're just like checked out of that conversation. You know what I mean? And now the next card is more of this water energy that we were talking about, and this is the water energy that we really want to embrace. But this is in the position of your fears, worries, and concerns. So it seems to me that this is your primary dilemma here, is finding the path with heart. With this Ace of Cups, you want that path in life that's going to give you that sense of love and destiny and connection and joy and pleasure and be soul satisfying. Okay? And the worry here is that when this, I think with all of the swords that we have here, it's something that it's something that your mind, your intellectual apparatus utilizes to talk you out of things, right? To say, well, yeah, that's a good choice, maybe a good decision, but does it have this Ace of Cups? Does it have that passion? Is it going to be fulfilling in the long term? Is it going to have this deep emotional, this deep spiritual satisfaction to it? And then you start to say, well, gosh, maybe it doesn't, maybe not. And then you're right back where you kind of started. Okay, so I think this is the big obstacle for you, is really trying to listen, to just slow down your thinking, slow down some of this activity, right? Some of this fire, some of this air, slow it down, bring it to a more like meditative, a more kind of Zen-like state, and just listen. Listen to your intuition, listen to your heart, listen to your soul, and I think the answer will come to you. It seems like that's kind of maybe a little chicken shit way to deal with it, or for me to get out of this reading. But I really feel like it's this more quiet, more passive, more intuitive kind of process for you, because this active energy with the fire and the air, I don't think this is getting you anywhere. And we're seeing, especially since we saw this Knight of Cups, this is the fiery energy channeled through that water, and then here's more of that water. So I think that this is really the key to this process. Okay. And now, interestingly, that through this process, right, through this more passive, this more receptive, magnetic, kind of intuitive process with the water, we are channeling that fire, like I said, right? And the very last card on the Path of the Serpent is this fire card, the Eon card, the judgment, the last judgment, the rebirth, reawakening, baptism by fire kind of thing. So this is kind of, in some ways blending the water and the fire a little bit. But I think that this is the fiery energy after it's been channeled through this water and through the cup's energy that's coming out with the final decision, right? Because this card is in a very good placement here. It's at the end of the path of the serpent. So this is like the culmination of the energy, the kind of long-term prediction, the likely outcome of this situation. And this card itself like literally means making a decision that's going to affect the rest of your life. Making that major decision, taking some definite steps in that new direction, going through that kind of a doorway, making that decision, right? Stepping into the rest of your life, stepping into your future. So I see that the process really is leading up to this. This is that, that final decision. This is that fire energy that has been through the water, been through all of this energy, has been channeled through the cups, through the water energy, and now is kind of coming out on the other side with this resolve, this decision, this will, this active energy is present again. Okay, so it's like we have to go within, we have to assume the kind of passive position, at least energetically with our mind, with our will, right? We have to, instead of the fire and the air, we have to utilize this water energy. And then through that process, then you have the fire energy again. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of, you have to go within and purify that fire energy. And now here it is coming out the other side. And I think this is a really, really good card to have. And this is showing me that, yeah, like in the next week or two and into the new year too, it's going to really be about this decision and how it unfolds the rest of your life, your future, right? You're really stepping into that. And I think that's wonderful. But let's look at this confirmation card. Let's look at this mystery card. I was betting that this is going to be some earth energy. Not more air, please, no more air. I was betting that this is going to be some kind of earth energy. Okay. And this could be, it could be like the universe or world card. I mean, that's got some earth energy to it. It could be maybe a 9 or 10 of discs, maybe a 6 of discs would be pretty appropriate. No, it's more water. Look at that, very interesting. But it's still in tune with what we've been talking about. Okay, I think this is a really resonant card here. I think this is talking about more of the kind of the water path, the water energy that we need in this situation. And with the Two of Cups here, I feel like this is kind of restating that, look, yes, you're going to have this fiery energy at the end. You're going to have the impulse, the enthusiasm, the passion, the energy, the vitality, the active fire energy, right? Moving into your future. But it's going to have that spiritual connection. And I think that this is like that spiritual, intuitive, subtle, internal, right? That emotional, listening to your heart kind of process. That connection that's being made is going to stick with you, right? Or you have to hold on to it at least. Okay, so moving forward with the fire energy with this Eon card doesn't mean that we lose this water energy, this intuitive, more subtle, more passive, more magnetic, receptive energy. Doesn't mean that we lose that and now we can just throw this like right out the window. No, this is something that needs to be held on to. So this is a good confirmation for me, and this is, I think, important for us to acknowledge that, yes, this is the process that got us here, got us to this good fire energy, and now we need to hold on to this connection, this spiritual connection, this intuitive knowing, this ability to listen to ourselves, right? To be able to quiet things down, quiet down the fire energy so we can listen for that guidance coming from within, right? And this is also saying that the future that we see through this doorway, through this card here, is going to have that connection that you were looking for, right? You were, I think you were worried that there wasn't going to be that emotional connection. This wasn't going to be fulfilling. It wasn't going to have that kind of long-term satisfaction. This is the confirmation saying that, yes, you're going to have that connection here with the Two of Cups. It's going to be everything that you are hoping it will be. Okay. I think that's really a wonderful, wonderful message. Now, we're going to take a quick look at this in the extended reading. You can become a member to this channel by clicking on the link down in the description box. And I encourage you to do that. It's not very expensive. It really does help to support the channel. But I just appreciate you being here and watching this video. That's what means the most to me. Okay, whether you're a channel member or not. I love the channel members, but I love each and every one of you who come and watch these videos week after week. Okay, I really do appreciate that. This was your weekly tarot reading for December 11th through December 17th here on Dove and Serpent Tarot, and I will see you again.